In the glittering age of vintage Hollywood, where every spotlight masked a secret and every close-up hinted at something more, the real action was happening when the cameras weren't rolling. Behind the elegant gowns and iconic films was a steamy undercurrent of passion, power, and forbidden romance. Directors weren't just guiding performances. Many were falling hard for their leading ladies, and some crossed lines that blurred the professional with the deeply personal. Now, we're pulling back the curtain on 17 vintage Hollywood directors whose off-screen relationships with the women they directed were as unforgettable and dramatic as the films they made. Josef von Sternberg. Josef von Sternberg, a director known for his obsessive attention to detail and uncanny ability to spot star power, was always in search of something or someone extraordinary. In 1929, he found it in a young Berlin chorus girl named Marlene Dietrich. He didn't just see an actress, he saw a raw, magnetic presence he could mold into a cinematic icon. Their collaboration began with The Blue Angel, a film that not only launched Dietrich's career, but turned her into an international sensation. It marked the beginning of one of Hollywood's most legendary and emotionally charged director-actress partnerships. Von Sternberg's approach to Dietrich was far more than mere direction. He became her artistic architect, a true Svengali to her Pygmalion. He meticulously controlled every facet of her on-screen image, from the intricate set decorations to the precise lighting and costumes. His mastery of camera movement, lighting, and photography was legendary, and he used soft lighting and shadows on Dietrich's face to create a unique, almost ethereal aura around her. He coached her acting, influenced her public appearance, and painstakingly transformed her into the quintessential femme fatale. This meticulous shaping went beyond simple collaboration. It was a profound exertion of influence over the actress's identity, both on and off screen. Together, von Sternberg and Dietrich crafted 7 visually stunning films between 1930 and 1935. These cinematic masterpieces include Morocco, 1930, which earned Dietrich her only Academy Award nomination, Dishonored, 1931, Shanghai Express, 1932, The Scarlet Empress, 1934, and their final collaboration, The Devil is a Woman, 1935. These films are not only celebrated for their groundbreaking visual style, but also for cementing Dietrich's enigmatic and alluring persona, a characterization that transcended the screen and became synonymous with her public identity. However, the intensity of their professional bond was mirrored by a tumultuous personal relationship. Von Sternberg's profound artistic vision was fueled by an intense obsession and a desire to control Dietrich, a dynamic that ultimately proved unsustainable. Dietrich, described in some accounts as intensely sensual, eventually chose to break free from his pervasive influence, a decision that reportedly broke his heart. The intertwined nature of their artistic and personal lives became evident when, after Paramount Pictures fired von Sternberg in 1935, their collaboration ceased entirely. Neither the director nor the actress achieved the same unparalleled level of success they had enjoyed together, showing how deeply their individual artistic achievements were dependent on this unique and ultimately unsustainable partnership. This dynamic raises questions about who really had creative control and how it affected the actress emotionally. It also reveals a darker side to the idea of a muse in Hollywood, where inspiration could easily turn into personal exploitation or an unhealthy kind of dependence. Vincente Minnelli. The magic of Hollywood musicals often spilled off the screen, and for Vincente Minnelli, it all began with Judy Garland on the set of a timeless classic. Minnelli, celebrated for his flamboyant and stylistic direction of movie musicals, first encountered Judy Garland during the production of the beloved Meet Me in St. Louis, 1944. At the time, both were married to other individuals, yet a powerful but temporary love blossomed between them amidst the vibrant sets and musical numbers. Their marriage in 1945 marked the start of a deeply connected personal and professional journey. No longer just director and star, Minnelli and Garland became creative partners whose work reflected their growing bond. Minnelli directed her in 2 more films, The Clock and The Pirate, both of which showcased not only Garland's range as an actress, but also Minnelli's unique ability to draw out her most vulnerable and captivating performances. Minnelli is widely credited with playing a pivotal role in shaping Garland's career. helping her transition from her youthful Wizard of Oz image to a more mature and sophisticated on-screen persona. His directorial touch provided a new dimension to her performances, allowing her to explore more adult roles and expand her artistic range. However, the glamour of their professional collaboration could not shield their personal life from profound challenges. Their marriage was severely strained by Garland's well-documented struggles with prescription addiction and recurring nervous breakdowns. While Minnelli could meticulously craft her on-screen image and guide her performances, her personal demons proved to be beyond his influence. After 6 years of marriage, the strain ultimately led to their divorce. Despite the personal turmoil and the eventual dissolution of their marriage, their union left an indelible mark on Hollywood history. It produced one of the industry's most renowned talents, their daughter, Liza Minnelli, who would go on to achieve her own superstardom as an Academy Award-winning actress and singer. Vincente Minnelli himself offered an intimate glimpse into this complex period of his life in his autobiography, I Remember It Well, providing his reflections on the bittersweet marriage and his fascinating career. Roberto Rossellini. In the annals of Hollywood history, few affairs sparked as much public outrage as the one involving Italian neorealist director Roberto Rossellini and Swedish screen icon Ingrid Bergman. Their fiery romance began on the sun-drenched set of Stromboli, 1950, a film that not only marked a turning point in both of their careers, but also ignited a scandal that rocked the entertainment world and forever entwined their names in cinematic and tabloid history. The scandal grew even bigger because both Rossellini and Bergman were already married to other people at the time. This sparked a wave of public outrage that spread across countries and made headlines around the world. The scandal reached an unprecedented crescendo when news broke that Bergman was pregnant with Rossellini's child, even before her divorce from her first husband was finalized. This revelation triggered a wave of widespread public outrage in America, fueled by the conservative moral standards of the era. The backlash was swift and severe. United States Senator Edwin C. Johnson of Colorado publicly condemned Bergman on the Senate floor, decrying her as a powerful influence for evil. The condemnation was so intense that Bergman found herself effectively blacklisted from Hollywood, with reports indicating she was ordered to remain in Europe to avoid further public censure. Despite the moral outcry and the devastating immediate impact on Bergman's career in the U.S., the couple married in 1950 and continued their artistic and personal partnership in Europe. They collaborated on several more films, with Rossellini reportedly still happy to cast her, despite the controversy. Bergman eventually made a triumphant return to Hollywood in 1956 with Anastasia, a role that not only marked her comeback, but also earned her a second Academy Award, signaling a shift in public and industry perception over time. Alfred Hitchcock. Alfred Hitchcock, the undisputed master of suspense, harbored a distinct cinematic vision that often revolved around a particular type of leading lady, the cool, impeccably dressed blonde. His muses included iconic actresses like Grace Kelly, Ingrid Bergman, and Janet Leigh, all of whom embodied the sophisticated yet vulnerable archetype he sought. When he discovered Tippi Hedren, a fashion model, he saw in her the raw material for his ideal, transforming her into the embodiment of the Hitchcock blonde and casting her in his films. Hedren's collaboration with Hitchcock led to two of his most iconic films, The Birds, 1963, and Marnie, 1964. These roles catapulted her to stardom, but the professional relationship soon took a dark and disturbing turn. Hedren has publicly spoken out about Hitchcock's escalating obsessive advances, alleging assault and harassment during their time working together. She described an awful moment in a limousine where he threw himself on top of her and tried to kiss her, an experience she desperately wanted to erase from her memory. She also stated that being the object of someone's obsession became unbearable. When Hedren attempted to end their professional association due to his alleged behavior, Hitchcock, who held her contract, reportedly threatened to ruin her career. This disturbing aspect of their relationship was later dramatized in the HBO movie The Girl, bringing the allegations to a wider audience. William Wyler. William Wyler, a director renowned for his meticulous approach and his unparalleled ability to draw extraordinary performances from his actors, shared an intense professional and personal bond with the formidable Bette Davis. Their affair ignited during the production of Jezebel, 1938, a film that would not only become a classic, but also earn Davis her second Academy Award for Best Actress. Davis herself openly acknowledged the profound impact of their relationship on her work. She famously credited her compelling performance as a woman deeply in love with Henry Fonda in Jezebel to the fact that her beloved Willie, Wyler, was standing behind the camera. Wyler was known for his exceptionally demanding directorial style, often pushing actors through dozens of takes to achieve his vision. The intensity of his professional demands seemed to be an extension of a powerful personality that also fueled his personal relationships. However, the artistic triumphs born from their affair came at a significant personal cost. Davis, who was married to Ham Nelson at the time, discovered she was pregnant, likely with Wyler's child, and chose to have an abortion. The affair, though artistically fruitful, eventually ended, and Davis attempted to move on with her marriage. Producer Hal Wallace noted Wyler's insistence on numerous retakes for Henry Fonda during Jezebel, speculating it might be related to Fonda having previously been married to Margaret Sullivan, who was also Wyler's ex-wife, Otto Preminger. The Hollywood of the 1950s, while seemingly glamorous, harbored deep-seated prejudices that profoundly impacted the lives and careers of its stars, particularly black actresses. It was in this environment that Otto Preminger, a powerful and often controversial director, began an affair with the groundbreaking star of his film, Carmen Jones, 1954, Dorothy Dandridge. At the time, Preminger was married, adding another layer of societal taboo to their romance. Their relationship, which lasted 4 years, was fraught with immense societal and industry pressures. The most tragic consequence of their affair was Dandridge's pregnancy by Preminger. In a shocking display of studio control and racial prejudice, executives at 20th Century Fox allegedly forced Dandridge to terminate the pregnancy. Their fear was palpable: public backlash due to prevailing anti-miscegenation laws, and a desperate desire to preserve Dandridge's carefully cultivated image as a SEX symbol. Beyond the personal tragedy, Preminger also exerted significant control over Dandridge's professional trajectory. He influenced her to accept only leading roles, a seemingly beneficial directive that, ironically, limited her exposure and prevented her from taking on important parts in other films, such as The King and I, 1956. Their relationship also reportedly turned abusive, both physically and emotionally, adding even more pain and hardship for Dandridge. John Ford, the legendary director whose name is synonymous with sweeping westerns and touching dramas, harbored a deep and often tumultuous connection with Irish actress Maureen O'Hara. He famously referred to her as his favorite actress, and their collaboration spanned 5 films, including cinematic masterpieces like How Green Was My Valley, 1941, Rio Grande, 1950, and the iconic The Quiet Man, 1952. However, Ford's relationship with O'Hara extended far beyond professional admiration. It was driven by a powerful, often obsessive romantic desire. He saw her as his ideal Irish woman, a living embodiment of his romanticized homeland. This deep fixation manifested in unsettling ways. Ford would send O'Hara love letters, some written during bouts of heavy drinking, and on at least one occasion, he reportedly broke into her house and went through her belongings. O'Hara, for her part, consistently maintained that she never had an affair with Ford, emphasizing that he was old enough to be her father. She believed his intense feelings were more for the character of Mary-Kate Danaher in The Quiet Man than for her personally, a blurring of his artistic process with reality. Despite O'Hara's clear boundaries, the dynamic between them was often fraught and deeply unsettling. She acknowledged Ford's heated and abusive behavior, particularly when he had been drinking, describing him as impossible sometimes. His unrequited obsession led to severe mood swings and a palpable great resentment towards her when his desires clashed with her strong, independent personality. O'Hara claimed that Ford waged a campaign behind her back to prevent her from receiving an Academy Award nomination for her performance in The Quiet Man, a role many consider her best. O'Hara's ability to maintain her professional relationship with Ford, despite these challenges, speaks volumes about her resilience and the complex survival strategies employed by actresses in that era. Charles Vidor. Charles Vidor was a prominent director during Hollywood's golden age, known for his work with some of the era's most iconic leading ladies, including Rita Hayworth, Doris Day, and Grace Kelly. However, it was Evelyn Keyes, perhaps best remembered for her role as Sue Ellen O'Hara in Gone with the Wind, whom he developed a personal connection with on the sets of their films, Ladies in Retirement and The Desperados. Their marriage, which lasted from 1943 to 1945, was a relatively brief chapter in Keyes' famously colorful and well-documented personal life. Keyes was remarkably candid about her many relationships, famously stating in her memoir, "I always took up with the man of the moment, and there were many such moments." Keyes' autobiography, Scarlett O'Hara's younger sister, offered a rare, unfiltered glimpse into the private lives of stars, detailing her marriages to Vidor, John Huston, and bandleader Artie Shaw, among others. In her characteristically blunt style, she described her marriage to Vidor as mainly about sex. The fact that her marriages and divorces frequently made her the darling of gossip columns and fan magazines suggests that while these relationships were considered scandalous by some, they were also a source of immense public fascination and, perhaps, a form of celebrity currency. Elia Kazan. Elia Kazan, widely regarded as one of the most influential directors in cinematic history, formed a significant personal and professional bond with actress Barbara Loden. Their romance blossomed during the production of Kazan's 1960 film, Wild River. The relationship was notable not only for the professional collaboration it fostered, but also for the considerable age gap between them, with Kazan being 22 years Loden's senior, and the fact that both were married to other people at the time. Their personal connection quickly intertwined with their professional lives. Kazan cast Loden in prominent roles, including as Warren Beatty's sister in Splendor in the Grass, 1961, and a lead role in his acclaimed Broadway production of After the Fall. Her performance in the latter earned her a prestigious Tony Award, a testament to her talent and Kazan's guidance. They eventually married in 1967, solidifying a partnership that was both romantic and deeply artistic. Orson Welles. The union of Orson Welles, the maverick genius of cinema, and Rita Hayworth, the ultimate femme fatale and pin-up goddess, was a dazzling yet ultimately volatile Hollywood pairing. They married in September 1943, a union of two young, immensely talented, and highly celebrated figures in their respective primes, Hayworth at 25, Welles at 28. Their marriage, however, was a tumultuous affair, characterized by Welles's notoriously erratic behavior, prolonged absences, and an almost obsessive dedication to his creative work. Despite the personal strain, Hayworth recognized Welles's unique artistic vision and insisted that he direct her in The Lady from Shanghai, 1947. This collaboration proved to be a cinematic event, not least for Welles's audacious decision to transform Hayworth's iconic red hair into a stark, bleached blonde bob, a move that generated massive publicity and reshaped her public image for the film. The film itself, described as the weirdest great movie ever made, was a complex, genre-bending work that reflected Welles's experimental nature. Yet, the artistic collaboration could not mend the widening chasm in their personal lives. Hayworth, who yearned for a conventional and stable relationship, found herself increasingly lonely amidst Welles's creative chaos and his alleged series of affairs. As one account put it, their love song died in the second chorus, a sad but fitting way to describe a relationship that, despite their shared talent, was never truly right. Orson Welles was a bold risk-taker who thrived on chaos and spontaneity, while Rita Hayworth longed for a stable, traditional relationship and struggled with insecurity, even at the height of her fame. Their work together on The Lady from Shanghai was a last effort to save their relationship through art. But Welles's unpredictable behavior, long absences, and intense focus on his work eventually pulled them apart. Changing Hayworth's image for the film wasn't just a publicity move, it also showed Welles's desire, both creatively and personally, to reshape the woman who had become his muse. They officially divorced in November 1947, with Hayworth testifying to his erratic behavior and absences. King Vidor. King Vidor, an acclaimed director of the silent era, married actress Eleanor Boardman in 1926. Boardman was a prominent silent film star, making their union a significant pairing in early Hollywood. Their wedding was even almost a dual ceremony, with Greta Garbo and John Gilbert, but Garbo famously changed her mind at the last minute. Their professional collaboration was marked by a shared artistic vision. Boardman starred in 6 of Vidor's films, most notably The Crowd, 1928, a remarkable study of an urban everyman that is widely considered one of the greatest American silent films of all time. This film was a personal favorite for Vidor, and Boardman's performance was lauded for its realism, often requiring her to be deglamorized to portray authentic middle-class characters. This artistic partnership allowed them to create deeply resonant cinema that pushed the boundaries of the medium. However, the dawn of the sound era brought significant challenges that ultimately impacted their personal and professional lives. While Vidor successfully transitioned into directing sound films, Boardman's career in talkies unfortunately waned. She appeared in only 7 sound films before effectively retiring from the screen in 1932, while Vidor continued his prolific directing career for decades. Their marriage ended in divorce in 1931. Their marriage's end around the same time of her retirement suggests a potential link between professional shifts and personal stability. Tay Garnett. Tay Garnett, a prolific director known for classics like The Postman Always Rings Twice, exhibited a distinct pattern in his personal life. He married 3 actresses over the course of his career. This repeated choice of partners within his professional sphere offers a fascinating glimpse into the insular world of vintage Hollywood relationships. His first marriage was to Patsy Ruth Miller, a notable silent film star, from 1929 to 1933. Following his divorce from Miller, Garnett married British author and actress Helga Moray in 1934, a union that lasted until 1942. They even had a second ceremony in Arizona to safeguard her American citizenship. During this period, Garnett directed films such as 7 Sinners, 1940, though Moray was not listed as a cast member in his directorial credits. The couple had a son, William John Bill Garnett, before their divorce, which Moray filed on grounds of cruelty. His final marriage was to Mari Alden, a younger actress, in 1953, and this marriage endured until his death in 1977. They had a daughter, Tiela Alden Garnett. Mari Alden appeared in films like Distant Drums, 1951, and The Barefoot Contessa, 1954, and Garnett directed The Black Knight, 1954. Tay Garnett's pattern of marrying multiple actresses across different decades suggests a common phenomenon in Hollywood, where personal relationships were often transient and deeply intertwined with professional circles. William Wellman. William Wellman, a director celebrated for his gritty realism and dynamic storytelling, led a personal life marked by several marriages, primarily to actresses. His journey through matrimony offers a glimpse into the varied nature of relationships within Hollywood, from brief, tumultuous unions to a remarkable, enduring partnership. Wellman married 4 actresses: Helene Chadwick, 1921 to 1923, Marjorie Chapin, 1925 to 1926, Marjorie Crawford, 1931 to 1933, and finally, Dorothy Coonan, 1934 until his death in 1975. His early marriages were notably brief, perhaps reflecting the volatile and fast-paced nature of early Hollywood, or indeed, Wellman's own intense and demanding personality. However, his final marriage to Dorothy Coonan, an actress he directed in Wild Boys of the Road, 1933, and The Story of G.I. Joe, 1945, proved to be an exception to the fleeting nature of many Hollywood unions. Beyond his marital relationships, Wellman also cultivated significant professional bonds with other actresses. He shared a particularly strong and mutually respectful collaboration with Barbara Stanwyck, whom he directed in 5 films, including Night Nurse, 1931, and The Great Man's Lady, 1942. Wellman often spoke highly of Stanwyck's talent and professionalism, stating, "I love her," and noting her ability to know not only her lines, but everyone else's. Victor Fleming. Victor Fleming, known for his rough-and-tumble personality and reputation for directing action-packed, male-driven films, was surprisingly skilled at working with women on screen. He drew strong, memorable performances from his female leads, especially Clara Bow, who starred in several of his films, including Mantrap, 1926, and Children of Divorce, 1927. Their professional collaboration on these films also set the stage for a personal relationship to develop between them. Bow's personal life was a whirlwind of simultaneous romances. Reports indicated she was carrying on affairs with both Fleming and co-star Gary Cooper at the same time, all while engaged to another, man Gilbert Rowland. This audacious disregard for conventional morality and her free-spirited manners, while contributing to her it-girl mystique, also reportedly led to her exclusion from Hollywood's more conservative inner circles. The public persona of the it girl was built on her vivaciousness and perceived sexual liberation. Her numerous affairs, including with her director Victor Fleming and co-star Gary Cooper, often simultaneous, reinforced this image. Vincent Sherman. Vincent Sherman, a director who carved out a significant career in Hollywood's golden age, earned a unique, if somewhat double-edged reputation, that of a woman's director. He was lauded for his exceptional ability to elicit powerful and nuanced performances from strong-willed female stars, including industry titans like Bette Davis, Joan Crawford, and Rita Hayworth. However, alongside this professional acclaim, Sherman also gained a parallel reputation for romancing many of these leading ladies, a label he reportedly disliked, perhaps due to its implications. Sherman's personal life was deeply intertwined with his professional endeavors, particularly through a series of high-profile on-set affairs. He engaged in a notable romance with Bette Davis, which began during the filming of Old Acquaintance, 1943, and continued through Mr. Skeffington, 1944. He also maintained a 3-year relationship with Joan Crawford, spanning the production of 3 of her films. Later, he had an affair with Rita Hayworth during the making of Affair in Trinidad, 1952, after her divorce from Ali Khan. These numerous high-profile affairs and on-set affairs with leading ladies suggest that such relationships were not isolated incidents, but a common, perhaps even expected part of the Hollywood environment for some directors. What makes Sherman's story particularly intriguing is the remarkable longevity of his marriage to Hedda, which lasted an astounding 53 years. This enduring union was sustained despite Hedda reportedly tolerating his extramarital adventures. Sherman himself candidly documented these relationships in his 1996 autobiography, Studio Affairs: My Life as a Film Director, offering an unfiltered perspective on his romantic entanglements with Crawford and Hayworth. Edmund Goulding. Edmund Goulding, a figure of considerable talent and complexity in Hollywood's golden age, was widely celebrated as a woman's director, often compared favorably to George Cukor for his remarkable ability to draw out the finest performances from actresses such as Joan Crawford, Greta Garbo, Joan Fontaine, and Marilyn Monroe. His professional prowess, however, was accompanied by a private life that was an open secret within the industry, revealing a darker undercurrent to his acclaimed persona. Goulding's romantic nature and attractions, reportedly to both men and women, were well known. Disturbingly, he was known for directing his sexual events with the same attention he gave the directing of films, allegedly leveraging the promise of screen tests or minor roles as bait for intimate favors. Henry Hathaway. Henry Hathaway, a prolific director known for his wide range of films, found himself embroiled in an extramarital affair with the legendary Marlene Dietrich. Their personal connection began on the set of Seven Sinners, 1940, a film directed by Tay Garnett, not Hathaway himself, highlighting how personal relationships could blossom even when not directly under one's own professional purview. While Dietrich did work with Hathaway on films such as Niagara, 1953, where she appeared alongside Marilyn Monroe, their professional and personal interactions were often marked by a clash of strong personalities. One notable incident involved a skirmish on set, where Hathaway reportedly walked off the film because Dietrich refused to get rid of the makeup and appear sloppy or plain for a role, insisting on maintaining her glamorous image. Dietrich, known for her meticulously crafted glamour and an air of indifference that captivated audiences, was famously unyielding when it came to her persona. She was a complex and enigmatic figure, celebrated for her fluid sexuality and unique mystique. She effortlessly appropriated masculine attributes, presenting a self-assured and sexually dominant image that resonated with both men and women. The affair between Henry Hathaway and Marlene Dietrich, and particularly the on-set skirmish over her appearance, showcases the intense personalities and artistic demands of Hollywood's biggest stars and directors. The camera may have captured the romance, but what happened off-screen was often far more revealing. Were these relationships born from genuine connection, or shaped by power and control? Would we view these and adult affairs the same way today, in a world more aware of boundaries and consent? Share your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this deep dive into classic cinema, don't forget to give it a like. Subscribe for more untold stories from behind the scenes, and hit the bell so you never miss a moment of movie history. Thanks for watching.